need to synchronize these two. The dojo in here. All right, cool. Hey, we have a Ron. That's exciting. Do we have any video? Hey, we have video. Do we have audio? No. Bunch of hype music in the background. Happy New Year! Oh, right as I say that, it like chills out. All right, hopefully, Ron, you can hear us. Anybody else out there? Username. We have a username. I'm sorry, I don't know why I find that funny, but that's kind of cool. The user's name is username. All right, see, there is some hype. There's that over there. So much hype. It'll drop out for the meeting too when we get going, but we have a minute or actually 5 or 6, depending on if we're waiting for a Jacob. Beats what it was before. Oh, is there music before I hit the stream button? Like, I never get to listen to that part. Is there music like before the stream starts? Oh, no, my username. All right. Well, if you wish to rename him on anonymous, you may do that. Welcome. After a while, we get to know people around here, and it's fun. It's great to have all you guys coming by regularly. Hey, Ron, before we get started, you said that you were interested in taking that WiX convert issue that you and Christopher Painter were talking about, but you need to leave a comment on that issue, just saying, I'd like to fix this, if you want to fix it, so that we can assign it to you. If you do not want to fix it, that's totally fine. Do not say that I want to fix it. But if you do, please put your name on it or we'd like to assign it to you because it's like the only thing currently in RC2 that's not assigned, and I'm hoping we can clean that up today during the meeting. And I know there's a delay between me talking here and you hearing it there, so if you could do that, then that would be awesome, and we will make sure that we get it assigned to you. And if you don't want it, that's totally fine. We'll just pop it back out again. All right, we're waiting for Jacob. It's 9:30. Oh, I should do the did I do the tweet thing?
No, you didn't.
I didn't. Push the buttons. Push the buttons. Yep. There we go. We do it like that. There we go. All right. Let's see here. All right. So hopefully you guys can't. You can't hear me because you responded to my comment about the username. We will get started here in just a couple minutes. We usually get going a few minutes late to give our long-time attendee and occasional contributor Jacob times to jump in.
Also, just in general, I think we're all used to the, it's like going to class.
It's like going to class, yeah, the teacher just shows up, or I don't know, what is this?
Well, or fine, a meeting. A meeting back in the days when meetings in offices.
Right, when we had meetings in offices, or for those of you that still know what those are, which I haven't been to one in, well, I take that back. I've been to some since I left Microsoft, but I've never been to a meeting in an office for Fire Giant.
Well, with Fire Giant people.
Correct. Yeah, I've been in many meetings with other companies and stuff. All right, Ron, I'd love to... Oh, maybe you've commented on it. You need to leave a comment on the issue before it can be assigned to you. GitHub won't just let me give you an issue unless you said something on that issue. So that's 7078, Ron. If you want to just say, hey, I'm working on this, or I'd like to work on this, or I'd like to fix this, or something in that vein, then we'll be able to assign it to you and you'll be off to the races. Although the race is coming to an end. We're going to talk about that. So time is of a thing. Time is of an essence. Something like that. All right. Like, upset. Zach, I was in an office meeting an hour ago. Wait, was in an office meeting and hour. I'm gonna guess that's an and And now you're in another meeting, but this one's, I don't know, more fun?
Doesn't require wearing pants.
True. I don't want to know, but true. That's definitely the policy. The policy we have. Fire Giant. Bob routinely brings up that he doesn't have to wear pants, and I routinely remind him that we do not need to know. That's true, but we do not need to know. Huh?
As far as you know, I'm wearing pants every time.
Exactly, and I'm comfortable with that. All right, Jacob is here. Jacob is here. All right. That means we're just going to wait one more minute, and then we will kick this thing off. Let's go ahead and put the slides up so everybody knows why they're here. Although, let me see. I'm going to go back a minute and look at this. Yeah, it does say up next, WiX Meeting 249. So it's a little bit better structured and everything like that. But all right, this is what we're doing. We're doing the WiX Online Meeting here. In just a few more, another minute or so. Make sure that everybody that's used to getting a squeaky in the door at last minute gets in. Because who wouldn't want to miss the intro? You know, the intro is very important for me now that I have a couple different live streams per week. It helps me make sure I continue. As long as I get the first few words right, I'm down the path of the right meeting. If I cross them, oh, nightmares. Be all kinds of weird conversations going on. All right. Let's go ahead and get this road on the show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the WiX Online Meeting 249. Happy New Year to you. It's 2023. That doesn't mean anything to me, but it's January, and we're doing the WiX Online Meeting with a funky little number. I don't know, 250 sounds kind of exciting. We will do that next time. This meeting is being recorded for those of you that are not with us right here, right now. You knew that, and all the people in chat now do as well. If you're here, go ahead and say hi. Welcome. It's great to have you. We are doing basically what we were doing for most of the last meetings for the last few months. We're going to talk about the WiX 4 release plan. It has not changed significantly, but we're going to talk about it just to make sure everybody's on the same page. Then we will do a review of both the issues inside the WiX 4, and we will do triage. And as always, we will finish with comments and questions and other things that people want to talk about. Let me just go ahead straight into the WiX 4 release plan because there's nothing has changed. If anything, it's just become a little more solid. WiX 4 Preview 1 released last November. WiX 4 RC1 completed last December. We have people using it and reporting bugs. That's good. That's what we're going to talk about next. We will release WiX 4 RC2 on January 20th. Used to have a plus or minus in there, but at this point, that seems like a good date to do that, to continue on our roughly monthly cadence, to keep pushing the releases out with the sets of fixes or the set of bug fixes for the issues that came in most recently. We will continue to do that process in hopefully in early of this year as possible. I guess I could change 2023 to this year now. And we will continue to do these RCs, and we will eventually declare victory when we feel like we've got the bugs under control. So that means we need to go talk about the issues that we have right now. And that means we need to go to the web. Bob, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Script. All right. I think we're going to start with a review of the currently open issues. Make sure I refresh this. No. All right. These are the issues that are currently open in RC2. We're going to add a few more to this, probably through triage. I don't. We'll see. But these are things that we know we're working on, and these are oldest to newest. So I'm just going to start at the top. Let everybody that owns the issues talk about them and what they want, if they're still working on them, if they plan to finish them before WiX for RC2, or there will be an RC3, or for WiX RC3. So hopefully I've delayed long enough for Sean to give his answer on whether he is doing more documentation for Burn API now that it is available, I think, circa RC1, or if he's going to slide this out into the unknown future, or if he's done.
I haven't had time to work on it yet, but
you
still have a few weeks, right?
Oh, yep. So the question is, do you still plan to?
Yeah, I plan to.
All right, great. Check cubes for best compatibility is a go out and check to see what Microsoft has published most recently. And this DNC thing is go look at what Microsoft has published most recently about source generators. I know Bob is holding on to these as late as possible. Are you thinking RC3, Bob? Or RC2? We're kind of, it's going to be one of those,
Yeah,
right?
I was thinking RC3.
Okay. All right.
Um,
That's fine.
I don't think there's, a huge rush. This is, well, this one in particular, I would like to, resolve because there might be a code change. Like if we say, well, we're going to take this one, but disable this broken ice or
You mean the
whatever.
cubes? 6, 5, 6, 7?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, there may be a little work. Well, there could be work on either of these, but all right. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards if it's not an RC3 as far as known work, we're probably, I mean, I'm hoping we're kind of getting to the end by RC3s, I guess is kind of what I'm saying. So,
For sure.
all right. I don't know who this is. Power code. Still has this issue. I know, Sean, you left some feedback for it, 7058. I don't know what else we do on this right now.
Yeah, I don't know. He gave a thumbs up to my comments on his code, so
And that was how long ago?
uh
A month? More?
probably.
Yeah. Um,
But I mean, it was the holidays, so
yeah, that's the tricky part along a lot of these, right?
I don't know what's going on with this.
Do we... All right, I will go leave a comment on this to kind of say, hey, this needs to happen or it's not happening. And then see how he goes from there. Now that's after the holidays and be like, all right. Basically, for whatever reason, you can't make the meeting. Maybe he doesn't know about them. Maybe it's in a time zone that's bad for him or whatever. So just so you know, we need to kind of finish this up. All right, I'll go bump that and then we'll talk about it again next cycle. All right, the V3, V4 conversion. We were just talking to Ron about this because he expressed some interest or willing to take it. Still waiting for him to leave a comment on it so we could assign it to him and see when it's going to happen. RC2, like that's a couple weeks. Ron, like I know you're in the chat here. Do you want like have an idea if you'll finish it or you're going to tackle it in the next couple weeks, or should we just keep a mental thought that we'll just put this in RC3 given the time that you're going to put into it? Although I'm kind of putting it out there that things going beyond RC3 probably need to be pretty bad for us to be bothering to do them. Like, I don't know that I would take this post RC3, for example. We haven't like put a hard line in the sand, in the sand.
We should start discussing where the line is and then, cementing it.
Yes, I agree. I'm not quite ready to do that yet, but definitely getting closer. This is just kind of the feeling. So,
And do you mean RC3 or RC2?
I mean RC3 right now, just because so much time was in the holidays. I have a hard time like saying hardline and RC2. So I think it's RC3 that we're like, yeah, this is the time if there's any of these littler things to get in.
That does guarantee an RC4, right? Or sorry, this is the line in the sand question.
Yes, it might require. Yeah, it probably does mean that we're not done in February.
Right.
But we could get RC2 could go RC3 could go out with everything done and people could get it, and after a few weeks everybody's like zero issues that we're going to fix, and there is no RC4 because R3 was good enough, so we just wrap it up and ship it. Like that could happen, maybe.
Okay.
That's why I'm kind of hinting that it's good to start thinking about everything in by RC3, because there may not actually be an RC4. It may just be we're not taking anymore. We wrapped it all up. We're RTM. We never had an RC4.
Okay. I guess
I need
When
to
we
draw a
say by
line.
RC3, that sounds to me like, February. Whereas really it's like, you need to get it in as soon as possible. If not RC2, then as soon as possible thereafter, rather than saying, oh, well, February 23rd or whatever the date is.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. Definitely. Yeah, I guess there's a week of January after RC2. So, yes, very early RC, very early February. Yes, I agree with that. We're going to talk about this more probably next meeting, assuming that things aren't going crazy for RC2. And we'll be like, all right, now that we know what RC2 is, what's RC3 and how much more do we do after that?
Cool.
I'm just kind of putting out there as if for people that aren't in WiX all the time and getting a feel and looking at the bugs the way we are, like every bug that comes in, look at it, think about it, just kind of give you a feel for it. There's an RC3. I'm pretty sure there's an RC3. There might not be an RC4 is kind of what we're looking at. All right. So
okay, then well, okay, we'll discuss it, but
yep.
At a certain point, we have to talk about what we would take in RC3 so that we could skip an RC4 if that were possible. In other words, a typo fix, sure, no problem. A more substantial code change is something that we might have to. Can we actually not do an RC4?
Right.
If something came in during RC3.
Right. Yep. We'll talk about it.
Cool.
It'll be easier when there's a calendar or timeline on screen too, I think. So.
Yeah.
All right. So Ron says he's commented on that. So Bob, if you can give it to him, that would be great. Maybe you already have. Nope, not yet, but see the comment count's gone up. All right. This last one, 7132, has been a thing that I've been battling, thinking about, talking to a bunch of different people about the best way to do it. It's scarier than I would like at this time, but it's just we have issues in some cases, and I've not found a project myself that reproduces it, so I'm still trying to lean on some other people that have got this reproducing consistently. Anyway, where project references or package references, when you do restore, doesn't work correctly because of TFMs. Username, that's great. If you have this issue, it would be great if someone could give me a repo, like a GitHub repo with a project in it that does this. That would be awesome. Everybody's like, oh, I can't give you my code because it's all proprietary. I'm like, that's great. I would love for someone to tease out and say, here is code I can give you. It can be, it doesn't have to do anything. Just the build that reproduces this would be great to have one. I have not figured out the magic incantation that I'm missing to make it happen. Anyway, but I understand a lot of parts of the moving pieces in here, and I'm talking to Microsoft about different and better ways of solving this so that when WiX takes dependencies on other projects, particularly .NET projects that have really complex calculations with the different target frameworks that they have, that we always can reference them properly. Anyway, so that's what that is. That's what this is about. This is like the thing that I have in RC2, and worst comes to worst, RC3, and then we will talk about what that means if it all trips over to there, which is Bob's point about scary changes in RC3 and all that kind of good stuff. So this is the thing that I'm generally spending most of my development thinking hat time on while all the other things are going on. So that's the review of everything. I will go follow up on 7058 about the .NET Core SDK search. Otherwise, everything seems accounted for. People are working on the issues that are currently in RC2, which is good. So let's go talk about the new stuff. We'll start at the top. These are the things that have come in since RC2 released. Yes, since RC2 went out and over the holidays. I think that's right. 7100 conversion to VS Find Visual Studio isn't pretty. Yeah, it's conversions. It's not doing a little bit of white space, better white space handling. If someone wants it, that's fine.
I will take this just because I'm curious whether it should remove the property ref entirely.
Oh.
just based on how
Interesting.
the custom actions work now.
Hmm.
The old property ref mechanism is useless. So I'm wondering if that was a bug that I did, or if I should have added the removal of the property ref and I didn't.
All right, very good. So that will go off. It's not a pretty issue potentially after all. Man, there was some
Well, to be
alliteration
clear,
there.
I'm not going to play around with the formatting.
I understand, right? It's not about making it
I'm
pretty.
on
It's
the
about, is
record
this
as
correct or
saying,
not? I got it.
yeah. Well, the property ref is harmless, but whether the conversion should remove it, that is something I would fix.
Yep. All right, cool. WiX v4 compression does not create files as small as v3, 7101. So this one actually surprised me, was interesting. I was like, really? I didn't think that the cabs would change, the cab compression changed that much until I think it was Bob or Chris. Someone pointed out that they're probably differing their entire MSI, which then made a whole lot more sense. So I think we've asked for more information here, right? No, not really.
No, I did.
Oh yeah. Okay, I did through key proto repo with the repro project. All right, cool. So, I mean, they're pulling in different custom actions that can change the size. I mean, who knows? This is the whole MSI. Any number of things could have changed. Also, 10% smaller. 10% of what would be good to know? Like, 10% of 20 bytes is not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the custom action sizes have changed.
Yeah.
Though it depends on which architecture.
Yeah.
V3 was always x86.
Yeah,
I think there's like a 20K difference in x86 in WiX 4. But yeah, it's we need more information to narrow it down. I don't think it's cabbing.
I don't either now. Like, as soon as that, I was like, oh, okay, this is probably not cabbing. This is just some other changes inside the MSI. So WiX standard, yeah, I don't think the WiX standard BA changes should matter here, Jacob, because I think he's just diffing in MSI. But yeah, anyway, so bump it again now that we're in after the holidays and see if it comes back.
That works.
Ask for exact byte difference size, because like Jacob points out, 10% in a 1 meg install or 10% in a 30 gig install is a very different sort of thing. Probably not 3 gig though, 2 gig, but if the cab's embedded, it's not 3 gig. So, all right, cool. We'll bump it one more time. But I was much less concerned about that issue when you guys pointed out that it was the MSI, not the cab. I was like, oh, because cabbing has had a lot of changes in it that were supposed to make it, hopefully makes it actually extract a little faster. And I hope it didn't make the cabs bigger, but that's entirely possible. All right, so we'll get a little bit more information on that. All right, license file scroll bar at the bottom is at the bottom at load time, 7113. They did pictures of WiX standard BA, I think. And in 3, it was at the top, and WiX 4, it's at the bottom, which does look a little funny. And Bob, I know you poked at this.
I poked and I stabbed at it and was not able to figure out why the behavior changed, first of all. V3 and V4 are using very different code paths, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to a Windows message that is basically happening the same way. And so I'm struggling to understand that.
Is this the edit control that we upgraded?
It is, but after I poked, trying to gently understand what was going on, I started stabbing, which includes things like reverting to the old rich edit, and I didn't see a change in behavior. And then sending scroll messages to try to get the cursor back up to the top, and that does not work reliably, although it works in some cases. So I eventually was just stabbing blindly, and I decided I was going to take a break and not, do that. I still don't understand the change in behavior, because again, it all comes down to a single Windows message, and it's possible it's due to the new rich edit control. But like I said, I played around with that, and I don't know. Anyway, it definitely needs more work. But I kind of reached my temporary limit. I would take a look at this again after I've had time to, recover from spending so much time in the bowels of user 32, good old GDI land. Unless, John, you have an idea, because I know you did the Windoodle work, which was, all good, but
Yeah, I thought that was just refactoring. Really.
It comes down to that same EM stream in message that is how WiX Standard BA did it in V3. So obviously the using the newer rich edit control is a likely culprit. So that would be the first place I would start. When I start investigating again. But even then, it's like I'm looking around. There isn't a lot of documentation on the differences, and so even if I can conclusively say, oh, yep, it's definitely the new edit control, that doesn't lead me to a fix. So I'd be fine if the fix is a workaround instead. Just let it stream in and then scroll it back up, but that was not entirely successful. So I'll take it, and I don't know, do something with it.
Continue to kick it around.
At this point, yes.
Yeah. Well, hopefully between the two of you, maybe someone will come up with a good idea of like, oh, check this, and that'll be the answer. I don't know.
I don't either.
All right, but we'll put that in RC2. It is, well, it's not good. It doesn't seem like it should be a problem, but yep. All right, WiX UI attribute to omit a EULA dialog 7116. I think this is a feature. Yeah, there's a feature to configure the WiX UI in a slightly different way, which is interesting, cool, and could be done in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I commented many years ago that once you have an extension, compiler extension, you can do a lot of interesting things with, well, especially WiX UI, that was primarily driven just by UI refs. The compiler extension gives you a lot more flexibility, but
yep. All right. Well, that can go in the future, but not for. Harvest directory fails with cannot find system runtime. So harvesting, doing assembly, reg assembly. I forgot the name of the call.
regasm.
It's essentially regasm, but there's a call that basically does what regasm does. Doesn't like something about this assembly, and it's got system runtime in it. So, yeah, it says .NET 6. So, don't do that is probably the easiest solution to this, unless someone wants to go in heat and make regasm smarter with, I presumably .NET 6 code and whatever differences there are between .NET Core and .NET Framework using the old names. I don't think, I didn't expect a lot of interest in going in and digging in and doing a whole bunch of stuff with register heat. So I think the easiest workaround is tell it not to register, to scan the assemblies for registering. So, all right, cool. So that we're not taking in 4. And then project references, package references, encounter with TMs. Oh, I left this at triage just to make sure that we covered it in triage. This is the big thing that I'm working on where 7132. So this is assigned to me. I've already talked about that. We don't need to go over it yet again. It is the thing that I'm thinking about most there. All right. So we got 1 new issue, 2 new issues out of all this? 2. Because, license, and Bob got both of them. All right.
Yay.
It's like, best of luck to you, Bob. All right. So, this is kind of what we're looking at trying to finish for RC2. I take that back. These first 3 may not be RC2-ish. Do not need to be RC2-ish, I guess I'd say. Could be RC3 very easily, given where they're at. But these down here, we want to get into RC2 if we're doing them. If not, then we could punt them. Or we need to figure out what to do. A couple of these I think we need to keep, like this scroll bar thing. We got to get that, and we have to get this project reference thing sorted out. So anyway, that's where it's looking like. We're working on RC2 and all that kind of good stuff. That means I'm filling space to see if anybody has any other questions or things they want to talk about. I might just go back to the releases slide here. If people, so floor's open if people have questions or comments. I'm going to go back to the release plan. This is what we're doing. We are fixing the bugs that come in. We are finishing it such that that query that I just showed with 8 issues on it is 0. That's what we're working towards, is that all those things are closed. And any new things that pop up, we try to get those closed. Or decide that we're not fixing them in WiX 4, and they'll move on to the next release kind of thing. So that's what we're doing right now. At this point, I feel like a broken record because this is what we've been doing for a while, and we're getting closer and closer and closer, and the issues are becoming narrower and narrower and narrower, I think, of what has to be done, what's left to be done, all those kinds of things. All right. I have filled a bunch of space. We will be back in 2 weeks, which is perfect. Lines up on the 19th, which is right before RC2. Any specials on how complex package? I have one. So username, I have one route that might work, but it has implications on other parts that we have to then go verify that those could get worked out, which ended up looping in another team inside Microsoft. Is the challenge of this thing is that it's actually spanning like 3 different teams inside Visual Studio.net and NuGet, basically. The in the Visual Studio team or whatever. And when you span different teams in Microsoft, you end up having to get all these people to talk together. So, which was extremely challenging over the holidays. So the timing of kind of getting into this and going, oh, that's what's happening. And here's all the implications of all this is just kind of a little bit of herding cats and chasing people around. So fortunately, like Fire Giant is a Visual Studio partner. So we have the relationships with the people, and we can go in there and they're like, they appreciate the problems we have. They are helping us, and but we're a partner. We're not like inside Microsoft. So all that, and me not having the repo, like, yes. So if you could provide a repo, a repo with the repro, wow, I might need to get good at saying that. If you had that, that would help, because then it could just like flip over it over and over and over and over and over. You just spin on it will help a little bit. Could help a lot. But anyway, we have to solve it. So I will find a solution to it. I'm not worried about that part. We will solve it. So, but that's it. That's what we're working on. We're end game, all things. And on the 19th, that's 2 weeks from now. User, yeah, right. User, to be clear, yeah, we don't need any code. It could just be a class library, empty, like just builds the DLL, but it's the project reference or the NuGet package reference that we need, or the interaction between the project reference and the package reference in a project reference. I think it's like along those kind of lines. Yeah, zero. The code is unimportant. It's just the build system stuff. So yeah, and we don't even need a real WiX project. It just has to kick off the process to make. Basically, I need to reproduce the build so I get an MS build bin log and iterate on it and the results from that, because that's what everybody's kind of wanting to stare at. All right. 19th of January will be the next meeting. Same time, same place. We will be talking about the state of RC2, the bug fixes that we've taken, the bug fixes that are remaining, do the last minute, oh no, we really have to hold RC2 for something. But honestly, at this point, there's a number of bug fixes already in because we've been fixing bugs through the holidays while people open them. We have fixed a bunch of them. So I'm inclined to just send out RC2 with those set of fixes no matter what, because I'm certain there's an RC3 coming after that. So RC2 goes out and we're immediately into fixing whatever's left for RC3. So that's the march right now. I'm getting all the things complete and done. Whew. All right, that's what I got. And I think we have everybody. Yep, everybody seems like we have their questions. If not, well, we'll be back in 2 weeks and we'll do this again. And you could ask questions then, talking about the release plan, the finishing of WiX v4, and then we'll look at what comes after that. So until then, 2 weeks from now, all you guys have a fantastic weekend, or weekends, I guess. I don't know. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
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 Now, see, I need to. All right. So this mechanics I need to now fix so I can do. No, not that one. Meeting number. This I need to come up with something. Oh, not that. There we go. That changes that number so that at the end of the meeting, it's that time to eat that pizza. Oh, 7 p.m. All right, have that. Fun with that. All right. All right. Yep, guys. Go enjoy your evening. Go enjoy the rest of your day or your afternoon, wherever you're at. Morning. And we will be back in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
All right.